Ladies and gentlemen, let us all rise for the arrival of the Honorable Senate President and the Honorable Senators of the Republic of the Philippines.
The 8th session of the Senate and the 3rd regular session of the 17th Congress is hereby called to order. The chamber will be led in prayer by Senator Richard Gordon.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life, for the breath that sustains life, for the food of this earth that nurtures life, and for the life-giving love of family and friends. We thank you for all the blessings that you shower us with. We thank you for the multitude of ways that you call us to steward the gifts of creation and to serve others in your holy name. May they stir us to service, that we may use your gifts to serve others. Help us make ourselves worthy of your gifts by coming to the assistance of our unfortunate brothers and sisters. Guide us, please, Lord, as we care for and protect this earth that we call home, so that we will be becoming good stewards of all your creation. We also pray that peace may finally dwell with us. These we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. The Secretary will please call the roll.
Roll call of members. The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 16 senators present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum.
Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the Journal of the 7th session, Monday, August 6, 2018, and consider the same as approved.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. President, before we move to reference of business, we'd like to recognize His Excellency Effie Ben Matitiao, our Israeli ambassador to the Philippines, who's here with us today. Together with
Welcome, Ambassador. Welcome to the Senate.
Congresswoman Geraldine Roman, and the group headed by Queen Melo Esguerra. We also have with us today's guests of Senator Drilon. I believe this is on. The chair from the Securities and Exchange Commission, Chairperson Emilio Aquino, Commissioner Antonieta Ibe, Commissioner J.V. Francisco, Commissioner Secretary Armando Pan Jr., and Commissioner Luis Amatong. And we have also with us 220 members of the Philippine Rural Electric Cooperatives Association, PhilReca, here with us as well. I'm sure these are the gentlemen and ladies on the right side of the gallery. So.
We welcome all of you to the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, move that we proceed with the reference of business, and thereafter we will move to approve several third reading bills.
The Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Reference of business bills on first reading. Senate number 1910, entitled An Act Providing for a 5-day Special Emergency Leave for all workers in the public and private sector directly affected by natural calamities disaster, introduced by Senator Laila M. De Lima.
Referred to the Committees on Labor, Civil Service, Labor and Civil Service.
Senate number 1911, entitled An Act Amending Certain Sections of RA 10068, or the Organic Agricultural Act of 2010, introduced by Senator Cynthia A. Villar.
Referred to the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
Senate Number 1912, entitled An Act Strengthening Local Government Participation in Agriculture Development by Institutionalizing a 10% budgetary allocation from their internal revenue allotment for the implementation of programs, activities, and services for agriculture and fisheries, and amending for the purpose Sections 17, 106, 107, 110, 287, 443, 454, and 482A, 511A of Republic Act 7160, otherwise known as the Local Government Code, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Cynthia A. Villar.
Referred to the Committees on Local Government, Agriculture and Food.
Senate Number
And
1913.
Finance, I should say.
Senate Number 1913, entitled An Act to Further Strengthen the Philippine Coconut Authority, repealing PD Number 1468, otherwise known as the Revised Coconut Industry Act of 1978, as amended, introduced by Senator Cynthia A. Villar.
Referred to the Committees on Agriculture and Finance.
Senate Number 1914, entitled An Act Addressing the System of Prostitution, imposing penalties on its perpetrators, providing protective measures and support services for its victims, and decriminalizing vagrancy, repealing for the purpose Articles 202 and 341 of the Revised Penal Code, and amending RA 9208, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Risa Ontiveros.
Referred to the Committees on Justice and Finance.
Senate Number 1915, entitled An Act to Enhance Genuine Filipino Culture, Promote Nationalism, and Recognize Writers and Artists by supporting the Philippine comics industry through its mandated use in instructional materials in public schools, providing financial incentives, establishing the Galing Pinoy Comic Support Fund, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Grace Poe.
Referred to the Committees on Public Information, Education, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Senate Number 1916, entitled An Act Accelerating the Transfer of Information and Communications, E-Commerce, and Science and Technology to the Countryside by establishing ICT centers for excellence in all regions of the Philippines, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Grace Poe.
Referred to the Committees on Science and Technology, Local Government, and Finance.
Senate Number 1917, entitled An Act Granting Survivorship Benefits to the Dependent Children of a Deceased Retired Member of the Commission on Audit, Civil Service Commission, Commission on Elections, and the Ombudsman, who is a solo parent or the surviving parents or nominated persons of such deceased retiree, amending for the purpose Republic Act Number 10084, entitled An Act Granting Survivorship Benefits to the Surviving Legitimate Spouse of a Deceased Retired Member of the Commission on Audit, Civil Service Commission, Commission on Elections, and the Ombudsman, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Legarda.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service and Finance.
Resolutions. Senate Joint Resolution Number 13, entitled Joint Resolution Extending the Maintenance, Availability, and Release of the Funds created pursuant to Republic Act Number 10368 as amended by Republic Act Number 10766, specifically such funds in the Land Bank of the Philippines until December 2019 to ensure payment of qualified human rights violations victims, and authorizing the Commission on Human Rights to administer the effective distribution thereof, introduced by Senator Escudero.
Referred to the Committees on Justice and Finance.
PS Resolution Number 819, entitled Resolution Urging the Senate Committee on Public Services to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation into the status of the implementation of the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program of the Department of Transportation with the ending goals of crafting measures prioritizing existing drivers and/or operators of PUVs, ensuring realistic and doable terms and regulations for their compliance, and strengthening checks and balances to weed out corruption in the modernization process, introduced by Senator Grace Poe.
Referred to the Committee on Public Services.
PS Resolution Number 820, entitled Resolution Directing the Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media to find feasible ways and means to provide standardized social protection mechanisms such as health and accident insurance to members of the media profession in light of reports that such are not being provided, with the end view of implementing the constitutional provisions on the protection of press freedom and on social justice, introduced by Senator Grace Poe.
Referred to the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media.
PS Resolution number 821 entitled Resolution Directing the Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media to conduct an inquiry and transparency guide in aid of legislation on the information campaign of the Consultative Committee and the Presidential Communications Operations Office regarding the proposed shift to a federal form of government with the objectives of fulfilling the precepts of accountability and transparency and implementing full disclosure of all transactions involving public interest, introduced by Senator Grace Poe.
Referred to the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media. The Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have several third reading bills ready for, or second reading for approval of third reading. I move to the calendar to consider the approval of third reading Senate Bill number 1280. And I would like to also make a motion that printed copies of all these were distributed to our colleagues complying with the 3-day rule. May I request the Senate Secretary to read the title of the measure and proceed to a roll call vote? I so move, Mr. President.
The motion is to consider Senate Bill 1280 for third reading. Any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The Secretary will read the title of the measure.
Senate Bill number 1280, an act providing for the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. Roll call vote.
We would like to entertain a motion for a roll call vote. Mr.
Yes, Mr.
Majority
President.
Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. I move that we call for a roll call vote. I so move, Mr. President.
Roll call vote.
Secretary will conduct the roll call vote.
The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 20 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstentions, Senate Bill 1280 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, we'd like to recognize the distinguished sponsor of the measure and author, no other than our distinguished Minority Floor Leader, Senator Frank Drilon.
The Minority Leader is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, once more, this chamber showed its bipartisanship when it comes to the needed legislation. And today we approve on third reading this bill, which will have, in which the revised corporation code is enacted, will be enacted into law once it is approved by the House. Mr. President, this morning Secretary Ernesto Pernia of the NEDA cited as a key policy reform agenda in sustaining and accelerating economic growth, the improvement of government processes dealing with business. And this is precisely what the Senate bill that we just approved is today. This is a tool to improve the government processes insofar as corporations and incorporating businesses are concerned. In our chamber today, present is the Commission on Security and Exchange Commission, led by no less than its chairperson, Emilio B. Aquino. Mr. President, this is our opportunity to tell the Commission that here your Senate has exerted extra effort to provide you with a better tool to improve our investment climate. It is our hope, and it is the hope of this representation, that once this becomes law, the Commission will exert extra effort in order to indeed realize and make successful a key reform agenda in order to make our investment climate better in the next coming years. It is in this regard that we thank the Senate President, Majority Leader, for extending their cooperation to have and support in order to have this bill passed into law. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Our gratitude, of course, to the sponsor, the Minority Leader, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority
Mr.
Leader.
President, we'd also like to recognize, before we move to the second bill for third reading, we'd also like to recognize with their group Director Artiza, Director Feliz Menyo, Director Jose Aquino, Director Del Rosario, OIC Rachel Remalante, and OIC Rose Ann Espiritu, Assistant Director Kenneth Kimio, and Attorney Elia Padilla, and the Institute of Corporate Directors Ida Chongson and Trinidad Dalmasio, who are here to witness the third reading approval of the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines.
Welcome to the Senate, to our distinguished guests.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moving on, Mr. President, I move to consider for approval on third reading Senate Bill number 1529. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, printed copies were distributed to all the members complying with the three-day rule. May I move now for, may I ask the Secretary rather to read the title of the measure and request for a roll call vote, or move for a roll call vote.
The Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote.
Senate Bill number 1529, an act strengthening the National Museum of the Philippines, repealing for the purpose Republic Act number 8492, otherwise known as the National Museum Act of 1998, and appropriating funds therefor. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstentions, Senate Bill 1529 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider for approval on third reading Senate Bill number 1641. I so move.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, printed copies have been distributed complying with the three-day rule. I now request the Secretary to read the title of the measure and proceed with the roll call vote, Mr. President.
The Secretary will conduct a roll call vote after the reading of the title.
Senate Bill number 1641, an act regulating the practice of fisheries profession in the Philippines, creating for the purpose a professional regulatory board of fisheries and appropriating funds therefor. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1641 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, I move to consider for approval of third reading House Bill number 6114. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved. House Bill 6114.
Printed copies were distributed as well to our members complying with the three-day rule. I move now to request the Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
The Secretary will read the title of the measure and proceed with the roll call vote.
House Bill number 6114, an act increasing the bed capacity of the Luis Ora Memorial Regional Hospital from 100 to 200 beds, upgrading the service facilities and professional health care therein, and appropriating funds therefor. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, House Bill 6114 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, I move to consider for approval for third reading House Bill number 6621. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, House Bill 6621 is considered for third reading.
Printed copies, Mr. President, has been distributed to our colleagues complying with the three-day rule. I move that we Ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure and proceed with the roll call vote.
The Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote.
House Bill number 6621, an act increasing the bed capacity of the Adela Cerati Memorial Medical Center in Tandag City, province of Surigao del Sur, from 200 to 500 beds, upgrading its services and facilities, authorizing the increase of its medical personnel, and appropriating funds therefor. Roll call vote, the Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, House Bill 6621 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we consider for approval as well on third reading House Bill number 6742. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr.
House Bill
President.
6742.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Third read, 3-day, we've distributed copies and of course complying with the 3-day rule, so I request the Secretary, Mr. President, to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
The Secretary will read the title of the measure and proceed with the roll call vote.
House Bill number 6742, an act increasing the bed capacity of Zamboanga City Medical Center in Zamboanga City from 500 to 800 beds and appropriating funds therefor, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 7272 as amended, entitled An Act Converting the Zamboanga Regional Hospital in Zamboanga City into Zamboanga City Medical Center and appropriating funds therefor. Roll call vote, the Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Onasan, Ontiveros, Lacson, Legarda, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Pimentel, Poe, Recto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zubiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, House Bill 6742 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, several of our colleagues want to give their sponsorship speeches on important measures. I move that we transfer from the calendar of ordinary business to special order Senate Bill number 102 under Committee Report number 393. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, the Senate Bill 102 is transferred from the calendar for ordinary business to the calendar for special orders.
Mr. President, I move to consider Senate Bill number 102 under Committee Report number 393 and ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The Secretary will read the title of the measure.
Senate Bill number 102, an act increasing the number of rays of the sun on the Philippine flag from 8 to 9, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 8491, otherwise known as the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I move that we recognize the honorable sponsor, Senator Richard Gordon, to deliver his sponsorship speech.
To sponsor the measure, Senator Richard Gordon is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Majority Floor Leader. Distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. I'm honored to sponsor today Committee Report number 393 from the proposed Senate Bill number 102 entitled An Act Increasing the Number of Rays of the Sun on the Philippine Flag from 8 to 9, amending for this purpose Republic Act number 8491, otherwise known as the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. Mr. President, 10 years ago during the 14th Congress, I authored a similar bill, Senate Bill number 2590, which proposed a 9th ray in the sun of the Philippine flag to recognize the heroic struggle for freedom of the Bangsamoro people. In 2009, or just a year after filing it, it was approved unanimously on third and final reading by the Senate. Nakakapanghinayang lamang po na hindi ito na-ratify sa lower house on the last day. It reached second reading but hindi umabot sa third. I'm standing before you again 10 years later defending the same bill. Article 16, Section 1 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution provides The flag of the Philippines shall be red, white, and blue with the sun and 3 stars, as consecrated and honored by the people and recognized by law. Our flag does not only represent the principles of sovereignty and solidarity of the Philippine nation, but it also embodies the ideals and traditions of the Filipino people developed over the course of national history. Of history, we refer to the period before the arrival of the Spanish up to the present centuries, replete with up to the present centuries, replete with stories of struggles for independence and victory against colonizers. Behind the stories of the most celebrated names of national heroes lie the stories of our mostly forgotten Muslim heroes who displayed tremendous courage in the battles that they fought. In our national anthem, one of the lines is, "Saman lulupig di ka pasisiil," or "Nor shall invaders trample our sacred shores." That is Lapu-Lapu. He was the king of Mactan, known as the first native of the Philippines to have resisted the Spanish colonization, and he was a Visayan Muslim from Cebu who made a statement that the land must be protected from invaders, and made a statement that we are essentially a freedom-loving people. There was Sultan Kudarat, who united the Muslim clans in Cotabato, Lanao, and Basilan, and ruled for 50 years. He led many raids and battles against the Spanish from 1634 up to 1668, and inspired the Maranaos to oppose the building of a Spanish fort near Lake Lanao. There is also the story of Sirongan, the Raja of Buayan, who successfully pushed back the enemy into the coast of Rio Grande, thwarting the first Spanish attempt to colonize Buayan. He killed Esteban Rodriguez de Figueroa, who led the first Spanish expedition to Cotabato in the same manner that Lapu-Lapu defeated Magellan. He wasn't a killer, he defeated Magellan in order to defend what was known as his country at the time. There are Caliph Pulaka, Datu Amay Pakpak, of which the hospital in Lanao is named, Kapitan Laut Buisan, Sultan Jamalul Alan, Sultan Muwalil, Wasit, Paduka Batara, and Panginan Sarikula, who all fearlessly led their men in battles against the Spanish. It cannot be denied that the Muslims have been here, and they precipitated the first defeat of the colonial invader from the west. It established that no commanding presence, and I repeat, no commanding presence by the Spanish colonial power was ever established in Mindanao. Yet our Muslim heroes are forgotten. Muslim Mindanao is part and parcel of the Philippines, and we should not remove them from our history. In other words, we must be inclusive, and it cannot be done in a manner that we put exclusivity in the island of Luzon and Visayas. With their bravery, our Muslim heroes left an imprint on national history that at the very least must be given due recognition in the most heraldic item of national importance, the Philippine flag. So that every day that it is raised, every day that every young person or Filipino raises his hand to pledge allegiance to the flag, we're pledging to inclusion of our Muslim brothers and sisters, and we're pledging towards a nation which values history and above all, freedom. We seek to inculcate in the minds and hearts of our people a just pride that represents the love of freedom innate to every Filipino. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, to allow our colleagues to study the measure further, move to suspend consideration on Senate Bill number 102 under Committee Report 393. I so move.
Any objection? There being none, Senate Bill 102's consideration is hereby suspended.
Mr. President, another very important measure actually mentioned by the President in the SONA. This is the ending endo. I move to transfer to the calendar of ordinary business to special order Senate Bill number 1826 under Committee Report number 392.
Any objection? There being none, Senate Bill 1826 is from the
Transfer.
calendar for ordinary business to the calendar for special orders.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider Senate Bill number 1826 under Committee Report number 392. I so
Any
move.
objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Sorry, Jesus, I forgot players. Mr. President, I move to recognize the...
The Secretary will read the title
Oh,
of the
yes,
measure.
my apologies, Mr. President. We'll ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure.
Senate Bill number 1826, an act strengthening workers' right to security of tenure, amending for the purpose Articles 106, 107, 108, and 109 of Book 3 and Articles 294, 295, 296, and 297 of Book 6 of Presidential Decree number 442, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines, as amended.
Mr. President, I move that we recognize the distinguished chairperson of the Committee on Labor, no other than Senator Joel Villanueva. I so move.
Senator Joel Villanueva, Chairman of the Committee on Labor, is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 15, it says, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers." Mr. President, respective colleagues in the Senate, it is my distinct honor as your chairperson of the Committee on Labor to sponsor Senate Bill number 1826 in substitution of Senate Bill numbers 117, 174, 217, 302, 329, 1061, and 1116, authored by Senator Coco Pimentel, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Mig Subiri, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Grace Poe, Senator Lauren Legarda, and yours truly under Committee Report number 392, entitled An Act Strengthening Workers' Right to Security of Tenure, amending for the purpose Articles 106, 107, 108, and 109 of Book 3, and Articles 294, 295, 296, and 297 of Book 6 of Presidential Decree number 442, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines, as amended. Ginoong Pangulo, klaro at malakas po ang panawagan ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa SONA. Magpasa ng batas ang Kongreso laban sa pang-aabuso sa kontraktualisasyon. Mr. President, buo po ang ating paniniwala na tanging ang pag-amyenda sa Labor Code ang tutuldok sa mahina, magulo at tila marahas na relasyon sa paggawa dulot ng pang-aabuso sa kontraktualisasyon tulad ng ENDO at ng kawalang seguridad sa trabaho o security of tenure sa tinatayang 1.9 million contractual na mga manggagawa sa pribadong sektor. Kung susumahin po, 3 sa bawat 10 Pilipinong manggagawa ay hindi regular at 1 sa bawat 2 hindi regular na manggagawa ay contractual. Tanong po, Ginoong Pangulo, ano po ba ang problema kung contractual o hindi regular ang mga manggagawa? Ang kawalan po ng seguridad sa trabaho o kabuhayan sa bahagi ng manggagawa ang isa sa malaking pagkakaiba ng contractual at regular. Dahil wala po silang seguridad sa trabaho, habang buhay silang nasa laylayan ng ating lipunan. Lubog sa kahirapan dahil palagi nga pong new employee sa iisa o iba't ibang employer. Minimum wage earner for life. At kinakaltasan pa ng uniform, capital share sa kooperatiba, at personal protective equipment o PPS. At kadalasan, nakakalungkot man isipin, hindi po hinuhulugan ang kanilang SSS, Pag-ibig at PhilHealth. Kababayan ko pong Bulakenyo, si Jornel Kiza, 28 years old, agency hired at contractual sa NutriAsia mula pa po noong 2010 at klarong halimbawa po ito. Kwento po niya kahit minsan, sa loob ng 8 taon ay wala siyang natanggap na salary adjustment. Ang masaklap po, kahit daw po uniform o protective gear, ay siya ang nagbabayad at kung minsan ay mahigit 12 oras siyang nagtatrabaho para lamang maging sapat ang kanyang sweldo para sa pagkain ng kanyang pamilya. Isa lang po si Jornel, Ginoong Pangulo, sa tinatayang 1.9 million mula sa kabuang bilang na 20.6 milyong manggagawa sa pribadong kumpanya na walang security of tenure, hindi nakakatanggap ng mga benepisyo at walang social protection. Marami na rin po ang mga kumpanyang inireport ang DOLE na may order na gawing regular ang kanilang contractual workers. Subalit, Ginoong Pangulo, nananatili pong ito lamang sa isang papel at hindi po maipatupad. Tinatanggal o nagkakapalitan lang ng mga contractors ang mga manggagawa. At madalas nalalagay pa ang buhay nila sa alanganin. Tulad na lang po ng nangyari noong pong inaresto sa marahas na dispersal ang mga manggagawang nagpiket doon po sa NutriAsia sa Marilao, Bulacan. At mga nagpuprotesta na rin po sa PLDT na ilang linggo nang walang tinatanggap na sahod sa kumpanya. Tanong muli, Ginoong Pangulo, Bakit nga po ba kailangang umabot sa strike ang NutriAsia? Bakit po patuloy ang mga protesta ng mga manggagawa sa PLDT, Jollibee, PAL at iba pa? Kung may compliance order na pala mula sa DOLE. Ginoong Pangulo, ang punot dulo po ng problemang ito ay ang ambiguidad at malalabong probisyon ng ating labor code. Resulta, taon-taon, paulit-ulit lang po ang mga kaso na katulad na nangyari sa NutriAsia at PLDT. Patunay po ang pagbabago, pabago-bago o magkakaibang interpretasyon di lamang ng DOLE, inspectors, kundi maging ang ating mga korte, Ginoong Pangulo. Kamakailan lamang po naglabas ang Court of Appeals ng desisyong gumawa ng pagbabago o pagmomodify sa coverage ng regularisasyon sa January 10, 2018 na resolution ng DOLE na nagsasabi na 7,309 ang regular workers na gumaganap ng directly related at usually necessary and desirable sa pangunahing negosyo ng employer. Mahaba-haba na po ang inabot ng mga nagpoprotestang manggagawang iginigiit ang kanilang regularisasyon. Ang Court of Appeals mismo ang nagsabi, and I quote, "We admit that existing laws are inadequate. This court, mandated by the Constitution to uphold the law, can only go so far as interpreting existing laws and the spirit behind them." Close quote. Bukod po sa NutriAsia at PLDT na nasa mahabang listahan ng mga kumpanyang may order na mula sa DOLE, nariyan pa din po ang hindi matuldok-tuldok ang pakikipaglaban ng PAL-PALEA at mga manggagawa sa naglalakihang mga hotels dito sa National Capital Region na may order na i-regularize ang tinatayang 2,500 agency-hired hotel workers. Last May 28, DOLE has issued a list of top 20 corporations with most number of affected workers out of the more than 3,000 companies suspected or found to be engaged in labor-only contracting. Sa listahan po ng DOLE, pangatlo ang PLDT, 8,310 workers, at panlabing-anim naman ang PAL at PAL Express with 1,483 workers. Bunsod po nito, pakiramdam ng mga negosyante, tinutokhang naman sila. May mga nagsabing napakahirap na palang magnegosyo dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi raw malinaw ang mga patakarang pinaiiral. Pabago-bago at di patas ang pagpapatupad ng batas paggawa sa usapin ng kontraktualisasyon na para bang ayon na lang sa kapritsyo ng mga tagapagpatupad nito. Ginoong Pangulo, mga kasama dito sa Senado, klaro po ang pangangailangan ng bagong batas. Nasa harapan po natin ang hamong solusyonan, ang endo at linawin ng batas upang wakasan ang hirap ng mga manggagawa at ang pagtokhang sa mga negosyante. Kung hindi natin lilinawin ang batas, magpapatuloy po ang malawakang pang-aabuso ng kontraktualisasyon at ang kaguluhang dulot nito. Ano nga po ba ang endo at bakit labag ito sa karapatan ng ating mga manggagawa? ENDO is the scheme of continuously employing workers on a fixed period and replacing these workers again upon expiration of the contract with other workers on the same employment duration. Matagal na pong usapin ang ENDO o end of contract. Buhay na kwento po ito ng napakarami nating mga kababayan. Sino nga po ba ang makakalimot kay Carlos Miguel Francisco na naging mukha ng ENDO noong 2016 sa ginanap na presidential debates sa Pangasinan? Panoorin po natin ang kanyang kwento. Can we do it again, please? With sounds. This is just a 1-minute video, Mr. President. If I may just read, Mr. President, nagtungo pa si Carlos Miguel, Tubong Camarines Norte dito sa Maynila noong 2011 para mag-aral ng kursong BS Electrical Engineering. Subalit, hindi po siya nakagraduate dahil na rin po sa hirap ng buhay. Noong 2013, natanggap po siya sa isang tindahan ng mga speakers o sound system under a 5-month contract. Nang matapos po ang kontrata niya doon, nakapasok naman po siya bilang bagger sa isang malaking supermarket chain. Again, under a 5-month contract. Pagkatapos po ng 5 buwan, naging promodizer naman po siya ng mga appliances at canteen server din. Lahat po ito, Mr. President, 5-month contract. Tuwing matatapos ang kontrata ni Carlos Miguel, jobless po siya at wala siyang kasiguruhan kung kailan po siya ulit makakakuha ng trabaho. Gaya po ng sinabi niya dyan sa video na yan, pinakikinabangan lang kayo ng 5 buwan. Tapos pag hindi na kayo kailangan, itatapon na kayo. Maghahanap ka na ng bagong trabaho. Hindi naman automatic na matatanggap ka kaagad. Dagdag pa po niya, pag malapit ka ng maendo, ang hirap makatulog. Kasi iisipin mo, unang-una, yung pamilya mo, ano ang ipapakain mo sa kanila. Mr. President, nais ko pong bigyan diin ang sinabi ni Carlos Miguel. Hinaing po niya, pinakinabangan lang kayo ng 5 buwan, tapos pag hindi na kayo kailangan, itatapon na kayo. Maghahanap ka na naman ng bagong trabaho. Hindi naman automatic na ikaw ay matatanggap. At bibigyan din ko po yung kanyang sinabi at dinagdag. Pag malapit ka ng maendo, ang hirap makatulog kasi iisipin mo, unang-una, pamilya mo. Ano ang ipapakain mo sa kanila? Ang tanong po na ito ni Carlos Miguel ay humigit kumulang 20 taon nang umaalingaw-ngaw sa lahat ng sulok ng ating bansa, Ginoong Pangulo. Ang sinapit po ni Carlos Miguel Francisco ay isang halimbawa ng endo scheme o mga manggagawang 555 o paulit-ulit na nakakontrata bilang panibagong empleyado sa iisa o iba't ibang mga contractors at nakadeploy sa iisang kumpanya katulad ng NutriAsia, kung saan umabot sa mahigit 10 taon ang isang manggagawa sa kontraktor nitong kooperatiba. Modus po ito, Ginoong Pangulo, para hindi sila maging regular o hindi mapakinabangan ang kanilang kontribusyon sa SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth at marami pang iba. Mr. President, these practices are prevalent in manufacturing, wholesale, and retail trade, accommodation, and food service, and crop and animal production. All in all, there are 1,957,577 contractual workers in the country, or 29.87% of all employed Filipinos. Ngayon po, sa pagtalakay po natin ng Senate Bill 1826, mahalaga pong tunay na maunawaan natin kung ano ang endo at makapagtakda po tayo ng framework para sa amendatory law. Karaniwan na po ang endo sa mga contracting arrangements na labor-only recruitment and supply na umiiral ngayon. May endo rin po sa direct hire o fixed-term employment, bagamat pinapayagan man ito, batay sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema, naging mitsa na rin po ito sa patuloy na pang-aabuso at pagtindi ng problema ng endo sa bansa. On the other hand, Mr. President, Contracting refers to an arrangement whereby a principal agrees to engage the services of a contractor to perform or complete a specific job or work within a definite or predetermined period, regardless of whether such job or work is to be performed or completed within or outside the premises of the principal. Malinaw po, Ginoong Pangulo, sa definisyong ito, contracting involves the engagement of a specific job or work and not just merely supplying of labor, force, or warm bodies. Ang bottom line po, Ginoong Pangulo, ang labor-only contracting na siyang numero 1 behikulo ng endo ay labag sa karapatan ng mga manggagawa. Uulitin ko po, hindi po yung labor contracting, kundi labor-only contracting. Binabali po kasi nito ang garansya ng konstitusyon na pagkakaroon ng seguridad sa trabaho. Ang mga endo workers ay basta na lamang nalalaga sa kumpanya sa pamamagitan ng expiration ng kanilang employment contract. Lusot ang employer, walang babayarang separation pay at wala ring kasong illegal dismissal. Kapag dihado po ang mga manggagawa, wala pong panalo, lahat ay talo. Sa bahagi naman ng mga namumuhunan at ng negosyo, hindi po patas at anti-competition po ang endo. Ang iba ay kumikita sa pamamagitan ng paglabag sa batas paggawa at habang ang iba naman na sumusunod sa batas ay lugi at kaawa-awa. Malaki po ang latay nito sa ating ekonomiya at sa bansa. Ang negatibong imahe ng malawakang pang-aabuso sa paggawa ay nakakaapekto sa merkado ng ating produkto. Sa panahon po ngayon, malakas ang paggamit ng social clauses o productive labor practices at brand codes of conduct na tinatakda sa mga produktong ginagawa sa ating bansa para sa pandaigdigang merkado. Ginoong Pangulo, pangkaraniwan na pong mabasa sa pakete ng ilang produkto na ating binibili ang katagang no animals were harmed in the production of this product. O kaya, this is a product of fair trade. Hindi po ba maganda na mabasa rin po, Ginoong Pangulo, no workers were harmed in the production of this product? O kaya, this is a product of fair labor practices? Ang malawakang social media campaigns ng mga consumers na nananawagang i-boycott ang mga produkto ng mga kumpanya na may pang-aabuso sa kontraktualisasyon ng kanilang mga manggagawa ay siguradong may epekto sa bottom line ng kumpanya. Ang mas makataong pagtrato sa ating mga manggagawa ay pamamalakad ng ating mga negosyo ay nakakatulong sa husay at pagiging produktibo ng ating mga negosyo at ekonomiya. Mr. President, ending ENDO is not anti-business. Giving our workers certainty and social protection makes them more efficient, more productive, and in lieu of social clauses and brand codes of product, more marketable. May mga pag-aaral na po na nagsasabing kapag may seguridad sa trabaho ang manggagawa, mas produktibo po sila sa trabaho. A study that analyzed the effect of employment stability and productivity was conducted in 2004 by the ILO in 13 European countries, Mr. President. The research entitled, "Is a Stable Workforce Good for the Economy? Insights into the Security of Tenure, Productivity, Employment Relationship." It showed that the relationship between tenure and productivity for the period of 1992 to 2002 shows that at an aggregate level, tenure has a positive effect on productivity for about 14 years and levels off thereafter. Overall, Mr. President, the study suggests that countries remain productive with a high share of long-tenured workers. Sa totoo lang po, Ginoong Pangulo, may karagdagan ng gastos ang paggamit ng mga contractual dahil may binabayaran pong administrative cost na 10% sa ahensya. Maliban sa sagot ng principal ang lahat ng mga benepisyo ng mga manggagawa na wala naman pong kasiguruhan kung tunay nga pong ibinabayad ito ng buo sa kanila. Nililinaw po natin ang batas hinggil sa regularisasyon at interpretasyon ng kasalukuyang probisyon ng Article 106 hanggang 109 ng Batas Paggawa. Wala din pong dagdag na benepisyong ipapataw maliban sa pagsunod sa matagal nang itinakda ng batas katulad ng SSS, PhilHealth at Pag-ibig. Dapat din pong tignan ang mga benepisyo ng regularisasyon. Isa na po rito ang pagkawala sa magastos na high attrition rate kaysa low attrition rate. Bukod pa sa pagpapanatili sa tinatawag na corporate memory na nawawala po kung unstable ang corporate culture. Nagiging mahirap din pong pangalagaan ang trade secrets kung mataas ang turnover rate ng mga empleyado. Makikinabang din po ang mga employer sa loyalty ng kanilang tenured employees at makakatsak siyang nariyan ang mga taong hinasa niya sa loob ng mahabang panahon at makakatulong sa paglago ng kanyang negosyo. Your committee believes, Mr. President, that the Security of Tenure Bill will also benefit the business sector. Employee job security and security of tenure are consistent with employer and business interests. Mr. President, in our clear desire to prevent the recurrence of similar problems, we conducted extensive consultations, around 40 meetings, Mr. President, with all the stakeholders who will be affected by the proposed amendments to the Labor Code provisions on contractualization. Since 2016, we have started deliberating on this particular measure. Nandyan po ang ating minority leader, Senator Drilon, nandyan po sila Senator Risa Ontiveros, nandyan din po sila Senator Grace po, Senator Villar, Senator Recto, ang aking mga seatmates, Senator Mig Subiri, Senator J.V. Ercito, Senator Sani Angara, Senator Grace, Senator Nancy Binay, na very active po sa ating mga committee hearings. The Committee on Labor has actively consulted DOLE and other agencies, kagaya po ng DTI, NEDA, CDA, at iba pa. We believe that their inputs are crucial to ensure that the proposed measure will be effective in addressing the realities on the ground. We also work closely with various organizations, Mr. President. We made sure that we hear the side of the business community, especially the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, ECOP, Joint Foreign Chamber, Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractors, PALSCON, Union of Labor Service Contractors, IT BPAP, or IT Business Process Association of the Philippines, Federation of Philippine Industries, among others. We also conducted extensive public outreach and consultation with labor organizations such as Nagkaisa Labor Coalition, Bukluran ng Manggagawang Pilipino, Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, Kilusang Mayo Uno, and the Philippine Metal Workers Alliance. Indeed, Mr. President, ending endo and labor abuses has been a tug of war between labor groups and employers. Hence, it is incumbent upon the Senate to craft legislation clear enough to meet the interests of the labor sector as well as the interests of the business sector. The Constitution mandates us to give our workers the right to security of tenure and at the same time protect the right of enterprises to reasonable returns to investments and growth. Ang atin pong panukalang batas, Ginoong Pangulo, para tuldukan ng endo ay pagpapatibay sa itinatadhana ng ating konstitusyon, Labor Code of the Philippines, at Executive Order number 51 na nilagdaan ni Pangulong Duterte noong nakaraang May 1st, 2018. Nakasaad po sa Section 3, Article 13 of our 87 Constitution na may karapatan ang mga manggagawa sa kasiguruhan sa trabaho. Malinaw rin po sa kasalukuyang Labor Code of the Philippines at social legislations ang mga benepisyo tulad ng SSS, Pag-ibig at PhilHealth contributions, 13-month pay at iba pa para sa ating mga manggagawa. Klaro rin po ang probisyon ng Executive Order number 51 na nagsasabing immediately executory ang regularisasyon ng mga manggagawa sa compliance order ng kalihim ng DOLE. Mr. President, we believe that the right to gainful employment and security of tenure is most consistent with the fundamental human rights to life. Hence, we need to assert decency in the way business is run in this country and uplift the dignity of workers as mandated by the 1987 Constitution and related laws. Mr. President, allow me to continue presenting the salient provisions of Senate Bill 1826, starting from Section 2, which is the amendment of Article 106, Title 2, Book 3 of the Labor Code, or the prohibition of labor-only contracting. Mr. President, we maintain the absolute prohibition on labor-only contracting. The committee also adopted the proposed definition of LOC, or labor-only contracting, by the DOLE. And we also thank our Mama Bear, Senator Villar, for her insight in guiding us on the definition of labor-only contracting, insofar as recognizing the role of legitimate manpower agencies as valid job contractors. Mr. President, this definition, we believe, reflects the best knowledge of the executive branch on how to effectively address the abuses of contractualization. This is also the position now of DOLE and endorsed also by Senator Risa Ontiveros. Hence, the committee report, labor-only contracting exists where, number one, a job contractor, whether licensed or not, merely, Mr. President, merely recruits or places workers to a contractee, regardless of whether or not he or she has substantial capital, or the workers of the job contractor are performing activities which are directly related to the principal business of such employer. And number three, finally, labor-only contracting takes place if the workers of the job contractor are under the control and supervision of the contractee. Ito po ang controlling indicator kung nasaan ang employer-employee relationship. Kaya kung ito po ay nasa contractee, klarong-klaro po na sila ang employer at hindi ang job contractor. Aside from tightening the definition of labor-only contracting, the committee report also provides that in cases of labor-only contracting, the worker shall be deemed regular employees of the contractee in accordance with law. Ito po ay pagbibigay diin sa kasalukuyang itinatadhana ng batas paggawa. Compliance orders affirmed by the Secretary of Labor and Employment shall be immediately executory unless restrained by an appropriate court. In case the compliance order involves a directive to regularize workers, the employment of the latter shall not be terminated pending appeal of such order, except for just or authorized causes. Any termination of workers pending appeal shall render the compliance order involving the regularization of workers executory. Ang probisyong ito po ay galing sa newly issued Executive Order 51 ng ating Pangulong Duterte. Last, up to 5 million pesos penalty against labor-only contractor in addition to preventive or permanent closure of operations of any labor-only contractor. Let me now go to Section 3, Mr. President, of the bill, which is the amendment of Article 107 or licensing of job contractors. Ulitin ko po, hindi ho bawal ang job contracting. Mr. President, the committee report provides for the licensing and regulation of job contractors for specialized work, job or services, and imposes penalties for violations including the cancellation of license and administrative penalty for the responsible DOLE officer who licensed a non-compliant job contractor. Under the proposed measure, in order to be granted a license, a contractor must show proof of an independent business, have paid up capital of at least 5 million pesos, and proof of payment or compliance of payment of social welfare contributions. Further, the contractor must be an expert or specialist in the job, work or service being contracted out, and be an employer exercising control over the work performed by his employees. Mr. President, ang paglilisensya po ay garantya ng gobyerno na lehitimo, maayos, at may expertise ang job contractor. Ginagawa rin po nitong patas ang pagnenegosyo dahil hindi po pinapayagan ang pang-aabuso katulad ng paggamit ng endo at higit sa lahat, malinaw ang regulasyon at walang layaw sa pagpapasya o whimsical discretion ng Department of Labor and Employment. With valuable inputs from Senator Recto and Senator Villar, we qualified proof of expertise and specialization by showing, among others, a core of competent professionals or skilled workers specially trained to carry out the job, work, or service or track record in such field of specialization. Makakatulong po ang panukalang batas na ito upang makatugon tayo sa mabilis na pagbabago ng mga uri ng trabaho, lalo na po sa manufacturing industry, bunsod ng tinatawag na Industry 4.0 o Fourth Industrial Revolution, na kung saan po ang automation at smart factory na ang hugis ng mga pagawaan. Ang specialization ng mga job contractors ay simula ng paghubog ng mga kakayahang makakasabay sa pangangailangan ng mga industriya. Sa pag-aaral po kasi ginoong Pangulo ng ILO, magiging automated sa susunod na 2 dekada ang 25% ng mga trabaho sa buong Southeast Asia, kabilang na po ang Pilipinas. Maapektuhan po nito ang low-skilled jobs dahil pinangangambang mapapalitan ng mga ito ng mga robot o artificial intelligence. Lalong kailangan po natin ng batas upang pagtibayin ang security of tenure. Kasabay rin naman ng mga panukala para tiyakin ang programa para sa upgrading o updating ng kaalaman at kasanayan ng mga manggagawa para tulungan silang makaangkop sa pag-usbong ng mga bagong skills at competencies. Ang panukala pong ito ay nakasaad sa ating Senate Bill number 1431, ang Tulong Trabaho Act, na matagal na po nating naipasa dito sa Senado. Now, may I ask our dear colleagues to pay attention to Section 6 of the measure containing a new Article 108-A or the Transition Support Program or TSP. Mr. President, the bill intends to speak to all workers, especially the unorganized workers, by giving them social protection and defending them against the abuses of contractualization. Ang mungkahi pong ito ay naisip at napag-usapan na po namin nila Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Richard Gordon at ang ating Treasurer, Senator Ralph Recto. Ito po ang pangsalo sa mga manggagawang maglalatag sa pagbabago-bago sa kalagayan sa paggawa. Ito rin po ay magbibigay ng subsidiya sa mga nawawalan ng trabaho dahil sa job contracting para magkaroon po ng skills upgrading. Muli, ito po ay kabahagi ng pagtutulak sa mga manggagawa na paunlarin ang kanilang kakayahan upang makasabay sa pagbabago sa mga pagawaan bunsod ng teknolohiya. We also consider the reality of business cycles and seasonality of employment. There are situations where employers have limited absorptive capacity to continuously employ workers, especially during lean business seasons. That is why we are establishing a transition support program in the form of cash assistance for contractual workers who are not at work or transitioning to employment conditioned on skills development or skills upgrading. Based on the input of our senior Brad, Senator Recto, we clarified that an affected worker may only avail of the benefits under the program once a year. Pero saan nga po ba natin kukunin ang pondo para dito? Mr. President, the proposed measure also qualified the sources of funding of the Transition Support Program. 100% po of the registration and renewal fees paid by the contractors ay mapupunta rito. All fines collected under Article 106 of the Labor Code and funds from the Adjustment Measure Program of the Department of Labor and Employment as provided for in the General Appropriations Act. Mr. President, the TSP shall be managed by an appropriate bureau of the Department of Labor and Employment, which shall report to the National Tripartite Industrial Peace Council. At this point, let me take you to Section 9 of the bill, providing a new Article 295, or the status of employment. Mr. President, the committee report provides that all employees except those under probationary employment are deemed regular, including project and seasonal employees. Project and seasonal employees are deemed regular employees for the duration of the project or season, as the case may be. However, it should be noted and it should be emphasized that under this provision, the no work, no pay policy applies. In project and seasonal employment, workers are called to work from time to time and temporarily laid off during the completion of the project or off-season, but are in the work pool on leave with or without pay status in between projects or seasons. Ang proteksyon at benepisyo ay hindi po bagong panukala. Sa katunayan, Ginoong Pangulo, matagal na itong nakasaad sa ating saligang batas at mga batas paggawa. Binibigyan din lamang po natin sa pamamagitan ng Senate Bill 1826 ang mga benepisyong dapat ay pinagkakaloob at hindi ipinagkakait sa ating mga manggagawa. Lastly, Mr. President, let me briefly take you to Section 11 and 12 of the committee report. Sa pagsisiguradong malinaw ang mga batayan ng security of tenure, tinatanggal po natin yung malawak na diskresyon sa pagdidesisyon sa mga labor cases. Nililinaw po natin na ang analogous causes sa just cause termination na nakasaad sa Section E ng Article 295 ay dapat nakasaad sa company rules and regulations. We give the employers and the employees the opportunity among themselves to decide what constitutes acceptable conduct. In summary, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, Senate Committee Report number 392 containing Senate Bill number 1826 or the Security of Tenure and End-of-Endo Act of 2018 intends to address major concerns of labor. First, providing social protection to our workers by ensuring their constitutional right to security of tenure through the prohibition of labor-only contracting. Second, allowing only independent, licensed, and specialized job contracting, simplifying classification of workers and tightening the rules regarding probationary employees. Third, establishing a transition support program for workers to ensure their continuous growth through skills training as well as financial assistance while they are not at work or transitioning between jobs. And lastly, we are proposing a law that is predictable and reliable. This will provide DOLE and our employers with clearly defined policies. We expect this to reduce the cost of doing business and compliance with the law. It will also balance and facilitate the enforcement of labor laws and clear parameters and lead to easier implementation. In the process of constructing these proposed measures, Mr. President, we learned that conflicting and contrasting interests of the business of the different stakeholders, but we also learned that these interests converge. We all want economic growth. We all want to create more jobs. We want to increase productivity. We want better quality of life. And we want certainty both in doing business and in employment. We believe that what we are proposing is consistent with these principles agreed upon by all stakeholders. I repeat, ending endo or abuses in contractualization is not anti-business. Senate Bill 1826 is clear enough to meet the interests of the labor sector and the interests of the business sector. Let me end with this quote by Henry Ward Beecher. When God wanted sponges and oysters, He made them and put one on the rock and the other in the mud. When He made man, He did not make him to be a sponge or an oyster. He made him with feet and hands and head and heart and vital blood and a place to use them. And He said to them, go work. Work fills us with the dignity that realizes the truth of our being, image, and likeness of God, our Creator, our Maker. When work demeans us or victimizes us, especially factory workers, farm workers, salespersons who struggle to pay their bills or send their kids to school or provide decent food to their table, it becomes the responsibility of the government. And it is incumbent upon us, Mr. President, to act on what the fundamental law, the 87 Constitution, requires. Mr. President, Senate Bill 1826 is pro-labor, pro-business, and pro-Filipino. Distinguished colleagues, let's take the high ground of our constitutional duty for our workers whose right to security of tenure has long been blatantly violated because of endo and abuses of contractualization. Gawin po nating malinaw ang batas at magiging produktibo po ang ating mga manggagawa. Magkakaroon po tayo ng matatag at matibay na pagnenegosyo para sa ikaunlad ng ating ekonomiya. Ibigay po natin ang seguridad sa trabaho, ang sandigan ng mga manggagawang Pilipino, negosyo at ekonomiya ng bansa. Let us pass Senate Bill 1826. Maraming salamat po at pagpalain tayong lahat ng ating Panginoon. Mabuhay ang Senado ng Republika ng Pilipinas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, was very interesting sponsorship speech of the good gentleman from Bulacan. Right now, there are four other members who would like to sponsor the said measure, but we just like to recognize Senator J.V. Ejercito, who would like to just insert his speech for the record, Mr. President.
Senator Ejercito is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to just congratulate my co-seatmate and my good friend, Senator Joel Villanueva, sa kanya pong pagsisikap na maipasa po itong panukalang ito. But just to save time, Mr. President, just like to move that my co-sponsorship speech be read into the records, inserted into the records.
He placed that on record. Senator Pimentel is recognized.
I joined the call to end ENDO, and I have a co-sponsorship speech which I would like to also be inserted into the records, Mr. President.
The co-sponsorship speech of Senator Pimentel likewise is inserted into the records. Senator Aquino.
Yes, Mr. President, I would just like to put on the record my congratulations to our esteemed chairman, Senator Villanueva, for leading us in this measure. He has my full support, and I will be submitting my co-sponsorship speech tomorrow, Mr. President, if the majority floor leader will allow.
Oh, of course, absolutely, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr.
We
President.
place the manifestation of Senator Aquino on the record likewise.
Mr. President, there's a special request by the minority floor leader. I know I'm supposed to recognize Senator Risa Ontiveros to give her sponsorship speech as well, but there's a special request. We have in the gallery still the members of the SSS, and they would like to just have a photo opportunity with the Senate President up in the podium. So with that, with the permission of Senator Risa, we can take a 5-minute break for the photo, and then resume consideration on the said measure. With the permission of the body, I move to suspend consideration for a few minutes, Mr. President, so that the SSS can have SEC. SSS. Awayin ako ng SEC. SEC pala, Mr. President, for the photo opportunity. I move to suspend.
Yes, the session is suspended.
Thank you.
Oh, Sambuanga White. Taga Sambuanga po ako eh.
Tito, yung ceremonial handover, kunin mo isang puti na ano.
Oo.
Kunyari.
Papakita namin to sa lower house. Doon sa Congress. That,
Huwag mong iharapin.
diba? Yeah.
Maraming po salamat po.
Parang wala naman. Matakot na. Ano yun mo? Parang naka-reso na cover. Kasi suppose, tinatanong sa amin sa Pagpinita, ano ba suppose nang bibili parang nasa reso na cover? Sabi ko kunyari ka naman. Parsley paper.
Yung code, wala, yung
sponsorship si Risa? Oh. Pero on the floor yung ano eh. On the floor yung 1826 eh. Tawag mo si Risa?
Yes, yes. Absolutely. You want to do additional reference to business muna, boss?
Pinatawag ko na on the floor yung 1826 eh. Suspend pa natin. Pinatawag ko na si Risa para tapusin na natin. Wala pa. Sige. Suspend na naman na. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
We're waiting one of the sponsors for Senate Bill number 1826, Senator Risa Ontiveros. Let's suspend, I move that we suspend consideration of the said
Any objection?
bill.
Chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, with the permission of the Minority Floor Leader and the body, I'm in receipt of the a parliamentary inquiry of Senator Gregorio Honasan on the proper committee referral on PS Resolution number 760. I've already spoken to the author, Senator Trillanes, and the Minority Floor Leader, and they graciously agreed that we take this up tomorrow in the Committee on Rules meeting at 1 p.m., Mr. President. So I move that the same PS resolution number be moved or transferred to the Committee on Rules for further study and for the proper committee referral, and be taken up tomorrow, and I guarantee the good Minority Floor Leader and sponsor that we'll take it up tomorrow. So I so move, Mr. President.
So therefore, your motion is to refer the PS resolution to
Yes,
the Committee
760
on Rules and
Committee on
likewise the letter that you are holding.
Yes. May I just insert this? It's a very long letter, Mr. President.
No, no, it's okay. We
Yeah, we could
need not
insert
do
this
that.
in the record. We could
Just
insert this for the
for the
records.
record, yes.
Yes, we'll give the minority, all members,
Copy.
a copy, and if it
All
may be
members
deemed
of the
read in
Committee
the
on Rules.
records. Yes, Mr.
All right.
President.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved. We have additional reference of business while
Yes,
waiting
Mr. President, I
for-
move for additional reference of business.
The Secretary will read the additional reference of business.
Additional reference of business, message from the House of Representatives. Letter from the House of Representatives informing the Senate that on 1 August 2018, it adopted House Concurrent Resolution number 19 entitled Concurrent Resolution Providing for the Legislative Calendar for the Third Regular Session of the 17th Congress of the Philippines, in which it requests the concurrence of the Senate.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Bills on first reading. Senate number 1918 entitled An Act Converting the Pio Model Community in Barangay Pio, Municipality of Porac, Province of Pampanga, into a barangay, naming it as Barangay Adelina and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Paulo Benigno Bam Aquino IV.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Senate number 1919 entitled An Act Converting the Carlos Hilado Memorial State College in the city of Talisay, Negros Occidental, and all its satellite campuses located in the cities of Talisay and Bacolod, and in the municipality of Binalbagan, all in the province of Negros Occidental, into a state university to be known as the Carlos Hilado Memorial State University, and appropriating funds therefore, introduced by Senator Paulo Benigno Bam Aquino IV.
Referred to the Committees on Education, Ways and Means, and Finance.
Senate number 1920 entitled An Act Establishing the Forest Boundary of the Province of Tarlac, introduced by Senator Paulo Benigno Bam Aquino IV.
Referred to the Committee on Environment.
Senate number 1921 entitled an act amending Republic Act Number 9184, otherwise known as the Government Procurement Reform Act, and for other purposes, introduced by Senator Win Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Finance.
Resolutions. PS Resolution Number 822 entitled Resolution Directing the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the Philippine National Police's PNP Internal Cleansing Strategy, introduced by Senators Pangilinan, Trillanes IV, Ontiveros, Drilon, Aquino IV, and De Lima.
Referred to the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
PS Resolution Number 823 entitled A Resolution Directing the Appropriate Senate Committee to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation to evaluate the economic implications of a shift to a federal system of government, including but not limited to the attendant economic risks and opportunities, the implications to regional economic growth, the additional fiscal costs of the shift to federalism, and the effects on investments due to emerging issues on the imposition of additional taxes, the administration of incentives, and the repercussions on the ease of doing business, introduced by Senator Win Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Economic Affairs and the Committee on Constitutional Amendments. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to resume consideration on Senate Bill number 1826.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
We are in the period of sponsorship. May we recognize Senator Risa Ontiveros to deliver her sponsorship speech.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President at Majority Leader. Magandang hapon po, Mr. President, at pagbati po sa lahat ng mga manggagawang Pilipino. Una, gusto kong pasalamatan si Chair Joel para sa pagtatrabaho at pagpupursige na maisulong ang isang makasaysayang panukalang batas sa seguridad sa trabaho para sa mga manggagawang Pilipino. Mahigit sa 2 dekada na ang problema natin sa security of tenure at higit pa po na nagpalala ang ilang mga polisiya na ipinatutupad ng DOLE sa pamamagitan ng department orders patungkol sa labor-only contracting at iba pang patakaran para di umano maiwasan o tuluyang wakasan ang kontraktualisasyon. Napatunayan na po na hindi sapat ang kasalukuyang mga polisiya ng labor code para mabigyang proteksyon ng ating mga manggagawa, para palakasin ang kanilang pag-uunyon at ang collective bargaining. Napakaraming lumalabag sa labor-only contracting policy at nalulusutan lamang ang batas na nagbabawal dito. Halos walang mga employer ang naparurusahan at kung mayroon man ay kakaunti lamang, lalo na sa mga malalaking negosyo. Patunay po dito, Mr. President, ang kaso ng NutriAsia. Kamakailan lamang ay nagkaroon ng matinding kaguluhan at nagdulot ng marahas na pagbuwag ng kanilang picket rally. Ang ilan po sa kanila ay nasaktan. Ganon din sa kaso ng PLDT, kung saan hindi kinikilala ng may-ari ang karapatan ng mga manggagawang maging regular kahit ipinag-utos ng DOLE na kilalanin ang kanilang karapatan. Mr. President, tapusin na natin ang ganitong kalakaran. Huwag na nating hayaan na lalong dumami ang problema katulad ng mga kaso sa NutriAsia at PLDT. Huwag na nating pabayaang maulit pa ang nangyari sa NutriAsia at PLDT. Panahon na para bigyan pansin ang kawalan ng security of tenure. Wakasan na ang pangamba ng mga manggagawa tuwing matatapos ang kanilang kontrata kada 5 buwan. Ang Security of Tenure Bill ay taos-puso kong isinusulong 10 ng aking mga kasamahan sa kilusang paggawa. Huwag na nating patagalin pa ang pagpapaasa sa mga manggagawa kung kaya naman natin itong tuldukan sa pamamagitan ng pagpasa ng isang makasaysayang batas para sa kanila. Samahan natin sila sa labang ito at sisiguraduhin natin na ito'y magiging sapat at patas na batas na hindi magiging balakid o hadlang para paunlarin ang kanilang kabuhayan at palakasin ang kilusang paggawa. Bigyan natin ng karagdagang dignidad ang sakripisyo ng manggagawang Pilipino. Huwag natin silang pabayaan. Sa halip, tulungan natin silang maiangat ang antas ng kanilang buhay at kinabukasan. Salamat, Mr. President. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Wait. The Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Senator Legarda had manifested through me that her co-sponsorship speech be deemed and read and inserted into the records. I so move, Mr. President. Her speech.
Yes,
Inserted the
the
record.
co-sponsorship speech of Senator Legarda will likewise be placed into the record.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, to allow our colleagues to study the measure further, we move to suspend consideration on Senate Bill number 1826. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Consideration of Senate Bill 1826 is hereby suspended. Majority Leader?
I move to transfer from the calendar of ordinary business to special order House Bill number 7522 under 7522, Mr. President. I so move.
Any objection? There being none, transferred.
Mr. President, I move to consider House Bill number 7522 and ask the Secretary to read the title of the
The
measure.
Secretary will read the title of the measure.
House Bill number 7522,
No, no,
an
bro.
act reapportioning the province of Aklan into 2 legislative districts.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to recognize the sponsor, the distinguished chairman of the Committee on Local Government, Senator Sonny Angara, to sponsor his.
Senator Sani Angara is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader, distinguished colleagues. We rise to sponsor House Bill 7522. This is an act reapportioning the province of Aklan into 2 legislative districts. Muli po tayong tumatayo para isulong ang mga panukalang magpapaigting ng representasyon sa Kamara ng ating kababayan sa pamamagitan ng pagsasaayos ng mga legislative district ng mga probinsya ng probinsya ng Aklan. Aklan is arguably among the oldest provinces in the country, with Bornean immigrants settling there in 2013 and calling the land Minuro et Akyan. In modern times, Aklan was constituted as a province when President Ramon Magsaysay signed on April 25, 1956, Republic Act 1414, which separated Aklan from Capiz. It was inaugurated as an independent province on November 8, 1956. Ayon sa 2015 census, umaabot na sa 574,000 ang population ng mga Aklanon, which includes our distinguished Vice Chair, Senator Risa Ontiveros. Sa kasalukuyan, pinakamabilis ang paglaki ng populasyon ng Aklan sa buong Western Visayas ayon daw sa Philippine Statistics Authority, kung kaya't lumalaki rin ang kailangan na serbisyo at suporta mula sa ating gobyerno. Lalong lumalakas na rin ang ekonomiya nito buhat ng kapaki-pakinabang na agro-marine industry nito at syempre ang masigabong turismo na nakasentro sa kanyang islang Boracay, isa sa pinakatanyag na isla sa buong mundo. Nais po namin dagdagan ang representante ng Aklan para lalong umigting ang suporta ng pambansang gobyerno para sa kanilang pag-unlad. Sa ganitong paraan, umaasa rin kami na gaganda ang serbisyong matatanggap ng mga Aklanon mula sa kanilang pamahalaan. Para sa Aklan, panukala naming hatiin sa dalawang nag-iisang distrito ng probinsya. Ang unang distrito ay mabubuo ng mga munisipyo ng Altavas, Balete, Banga, Batan, Calibo, New Washington, Libacao, Madalag, habang mabibilang sa pangalawang distrito ang Buruanga, Ibahay, Lezo, Makato, Malay, Malinaw, Nabas, Numancia at Tangalan. Sumasang-ayon naman ang ating mga panukala sa saligang batas at higit na mahalaga sa pagdagdag ng mga distrito, pinalawak po natin ang oportunidad para lumahok at magkaroon ng boses sa pamamahala ng kanilang pamayanan ang ating mga kababayan na Aklanon. Malawak din po ang suporta para sa panukalang ito mula sa iba't ibang panig ng probinsya. We already mentioned our colleague. Kabilang na rin po sila Rep. Carlito Marquez at si Governor Florencio Miraflores. At may mga board resolution din na sumusuporta mula sa sangguniang panlalawigan ng Aklan at sa mga Aklan chapter ng Liga ng mga Barangay sa Pilipinas, Philippine Councilors League at ng League of Municipalities of the Philippines. Malinaw po, Mr. President, na napapanahon para magkaroon ng 2 distrito sa lalawigan ng Aklan. Thank you po.
Mr. President, may we suspend?
Yes.
May we suspend, Mr. President?
Session is suspended.
Oh, sure. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about it now. 1 p.m. dapat yung cut-off date. Then it's okay. It's alright. No harm.
Pwede. Tingin mo doon. Asa ka na? Dito ka pumunta? Yeah, because I cannot go pick you up. Can you come? It's easier for you to come here than to go home, di ba? Kasama ka na siya. Oo, walang bomba. Diyan sa may sa ano.
Good evening.
Tell Hats, tell your mom to tell Hats, habang ka sa 7 dito. Okay, sige. Okay, bye. Session is resumed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to withdraw consideration on 7522 and tackle the said measure tomorrow. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. There being no other business, our colleagues had mentioned that they'll just sponsor measures tomorrow. I move that we adjourn session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wednesday, August 8, 2018. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? There being none, the session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Wednesday, August 8, 2018.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Story sa kanilang pag... Parang may gumagalaw.